Hello.
And welcome
Huzzah.
to our second Hunchback of Notre Dame 2023 After Hours live stream.
Probably our last one.
Yeah,
More than
since
likely.
We open in, tell them, Josh.
6 days. 6 days and 30 minutes.
6 days and 30 minutes, yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, actually 30 minutes. We a lot less introductory stuff today, more like games and fun stuff to just kind of bring in dress rehearsal week, because we know, good Lord, we deserve some fun after that tech week. That was not so fun.
And a bit of fun facts about some alumni.
Yeah, well, we're actually going to do that in the format of a quiz, but we're going to give some people a minute or two to kind of tune in. I see Milagro, Jaehan, and Jacob Reinhart already here. They want that season pass. We don't even know what this.
Food voucher.
We don't know what the season pass entails. We were playing Hangman a minute ago. Might do something with that, but we do have trivia. We're gonna have some interviews, some stories about shows past. So I just kind of want to start off with what are some of your guys' favorite, like, backstage appropriate, well, PG-13 memories?
Oh, there was one show every...
like a 90s PG-13, not like 2012 PG-13.
Before every show, I don't remember what show it was, but we would just, like, make a little circle and have, like, a little dance party before the show. And what show was that?
I don't remember.
That was fun.
That we did that a lot in choir.
That was, okay, maybe it wasn't Ross.
It probably was a high school show.
Maybe.
But Ross shows exclusively, I don't recall. We do our little dances before in Scrooge.
Yeah,
oh,
definitely.
during
Yeah. When we're all supposed to be holding still.
Yeah. Who wants to do that?
Don't tell anyone.
What do you mean? We're still.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll come back. Give you a moment to think. What about you, Josh?
Backstage moment?
Yeah.
Probably every intermission of every show. There's just always something going on.
There's that moment of relief where you just have a second to breathe.
You're like,
and then something goes wrong.
and then
I think it was intermission for this show, the first time we did it, that we had to sew up a curtain.
Yeah.
That was fun. Intermission of Little Mermaid, we had to fix some waves. Nana was here a second ago. I wish he was here. We could talk about that for a little bit.
and we had to do concussion protocol.
It wasn't that bad.
It
Wasn't that bad.
bad.
Me personally, my favorite, I don't want to say my favorite memory, but like my most like memorable one that was just funny was when we did Spam-A-Lot. And there's a scene where Herbert's supposed to jump out of the window, and Willow Iraq was sitting underneath, to catch him. Mm-hmm. And Justin had jumped out, and Willow had lost grip. And so Justin just, like, lands in the deepest squat position possible on Willow's shoulders, this close to the screen, and then closes his legs like this and just walks off. And I remember the entire, backstage just erupting in laughter, because it was just, we couldn't believe what we were seeing. We had a scene to do in like 15 seconds, but we came on just giggling just because it was like one of the funniest things we had ever seen. Hello, Diego. Hello, Jalen. Hello, Trent. Long time no see. Did you come up with one?
No.
No.
Well, I think this was Scrooge. I don't know, but it was me and Tyreek were on opposite sides of the stage ready to go on, and there was music happening, so we were just looking at each other, dancing, nothing in mind, but we kept doing the same choreography over and over, just like, 'cause we were dance partners for a lot of things, so that was pretty funny. So lots of dancing backstage, I guess.
We were talking about Tyreek earlier, and Tyreek is such a character. We haven't done a show with him in 3 years, but just because he is so memorable, it's just like we were like exchanging all these stories with people who've never met him. Because when we watched the old Hunchback, we see Tyreek, and I believe people were very surprised by his orientation earlier. But Tyreek would say some of the funniest things. There's one show, I forgot which one it was, someone brought baklava backstage, and Tyreek is deathly allergic to like granola and nuts and certain kinds of oats. So peanut butter, almond butter were off the table, and baklava, as you know, is a lot of crushed up nuts. So he ate it, took the medicine. I forgot if he had a pen or just like a pen. He had an EpiPen. Injects himself with the EpiPen and then finished the baklava because he's like, I used it. These things are expensive.
He is a character.
Yeah.
We miss you, buddy.
I miss you, Tyreek. If you're not watching. Anything else you remember?
Oh, just like the random praise dancing backstage is always a fun one. That, and then whenever Cassidy's behind a set before going out,
What?
you just take pictures. They're always posing backstage. Like for when you were Belle in Beauty and the Beast, I just always catch you, take a picture, and then you'd go on, sing.
Well, if you guys have your phones out, and I'm going to catch the camera. So, be always camera ready, but don't have your phones backstage.
There's lots.
So I don't have to be camera ready.
It's hard to it's hard to just like narrow down like specific moments because there's like so many, like such a wide variety. Like there's wholesome moments and like traditions, like Georgia's speech she would give every time before like a show would start. You know, some of the most memorable moments, and then, you know, seeing her get choked up as she's talking about, you know, all the effort it takes to make a production, and, you know, having someone else read it, you know, now is so foreign, but also at the same time just makes you feel so connected. I believe we're looking at Trisha's book from the last time we did Hunchback and all the markings in them, and, you know, head nod here because Trish didn't like to conduct with a baton and stuff like that. And it's just like small little things like that. You see like pieces of history. I think we posted a little while back some signatures on the back of a set piece indicating what was taken down by who. Yeah, just there's lots of little Easter eggs, we like to call them, Reinhardt Easter eggs, or Ross Easter eggs rather. I remember there was in Spamalot, we had all the French characters come out one day, and one day my mom came out as Mrs. Potts, and
she had never done before.
We made Pat Port almost break character. It was the last, it was the last Sunday of a show. It was a really good time. So those of you in the chat, feel free to drop your favorite memory with, you know, a Ross show or with one of us during a Ross show, and then we can consult our live audience on some memories they have. I see Jasmine raising her hand right now.
Oh, yeah,
Jasmine,
I see that too. I see 2 hands raised.
Wow, don't be so eager.
Come on, Jasmine.
No.
Yeah.
Don't hurt
Share
yourself
some of your
running up
favorite
here.
memories.
Gosh, okay. Yikes, mega yikes. I'm put on the spot right now.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You were so eager about it a second ago.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, 2 hands and a foot up.
I was ready to answer this question. Absolutely. Well, you know, there's a lot of memories to be had here. Depends on the show. I've done a bunch of like different things. I've done some stage crew stuff, some sets. Recently, costumes, makeup. Back in the day when I was still in high school. I don't know. For this show, it's very busy. Last time we did Hunchback, I did a whole bunch of like set moving. And it's not different this year either. I have bruises on my arms just carrying things. But, you know, as long as it gets done, you know, the show is going well. And yeah, it's all worth it.
I know some of my favorite moments aren't necessarily from Ross, but especially with like the high school shows, having so many of the same people like interact and just like play parts. From getting the name, the Disco Ball for Jesus.
Oh, Leap of Faith.
Leap of Faith. I think that was my favorite thing you were in, but I wasn't backstage for that one. So, were there any funny stories about that one?
Not really. I think.
Yeah, it just sucked.
Yeah.
It was
No.
backstage
There
the whole
was
time.
I wasn't really backstage very often.
Yeah, you're on stage age a lot.
Yeah, that was I think my first like actual major lead role. I don't know. I think the most exciting part of that show was just the tent going up, and like we literally made it rain on stage, and I thought that was like really awesome.
I remember coming home, and then my dad and I had like Menards trips we had used to do during, you know, the spring musical, but I was at college at the time. So we took me to Menards and was filming me, and it's like, we're gonna make it rain on stage. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Are you with like a projection? No, with like water. I was like,
Yeah, actual water. Yeah.
I was like, all right, but we made it rain on stage. We made it snow on stage. We flew a ship. We fly
person?
people in this
Yeah.
one, kinda. Quasimodo flies for intermittent amounts of time
So
for
does-
the bells.
So does
So does everyone backstage.
Hey, get some
Yeah.
air.
That's not your favorite memory, Josh?
No.
Flying backstage?
So how does it compare doing shows now to when you're in high school? Because I know for me, like when I was doing shows in high school, it was like a lot less. It was more of like, oh, this is a fact of life, and you have school, then you make rehearsals and stuff like that, and there's like really no break with like who you hang out with. But like now when you're an adult, it's like during the summer, Cassidy and I will see each other nearly every day, and sometimes in the off season, we'll be maybe once or twice a month. Do you find it more difficult to do shows in your later years? Do you feel like it's coming home? Do you feel like it's any easier?
Well, because you're in high school, you're constantly around these people, so you do get annoyed at some point. And you're just like, oh my God, shut up, you know? But like, being away from these people for a while and not seeing them as often as you would when you're in high school is just like, oh my God, I missed you. Like, we haven't seen each other in a while. And it's just like rekindling a friendship that you had before, and now it's just like, you created that bond once before, and now you're coming back, and it's just like, it's like as if you never left, really.
Yeah. I definitely like, I remember I was talking to Cassie about this the other day, but I was after a rehearsal, and like usually like after a rehearsal, some people convene and talk, and I went to the group of people talking, and like people were like 10 years younger than me, and I'm like, I have this much in common with everyone. And I felt like an old man. I kind of drove home, and I was like a little sad because I'm like, man, it feels like my time's over. But as like the cast gets like younger and younger and younger, you know, those of us who have been around longer are filling in roles of the people we kind of looked up to.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic. So it brings me back in a way, but also it's like I'd give anything to like know what I know now and go back and like savor
Right.
it. Like the Office quote, you don't know the good old days until you're out of them. Yeah, so I do feel like a sense of like community coming back and seeing like a lot of the same people every year, even though that group changes from year to year.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share?
Literally come watch the show, because I did not get bruises on my arm to not have you watch this show. So please, please, please. We worked so hard.
Blood,
so
sweat, and
hard.
tears.
And it is so great. The voices are beautiful. They are working so hard, and it's coming together, and it is just amazing. It's one of my favorite shows, so please come watch it.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best sounding choruses we've had in a long time.
Sounds really good.
And there was a post where it had Alan Menken, and he said this was his magnum opus of his writing. So be sure to come in and see.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Would anyone else? We're still gathering some numbers. One more person. Andrew?
I did see his hand go
I
up.
saw his
Wow.
hand. While he's getting up here, I'm going to read some comments. Favorite memories, Jalen. Favorite moment was during dress rehearsal for Scrooge 2021 when a few cast members were absent, sick with COVID.
Oh.
And Mr.
I
Reinhardt
know
had
who
to
that
recite an
was.
entire scene to himself. I remember that. Well, I don't, because I wasn't there, because I was the one who was sick. Cassidy singing Part of Your World. That's from Milagro.
Wow.
Made a plane on stage too and flew it. Set falling and it missed a lead because he was standing where the opening for the door was. And then Jacob Hirsch, his favorite memory, the pizza found inside the men's dressing room during Catch Me. Don't ask. Must have been why it was so smelly in there. That's another one of my pet peeves is when people bring food into dressing rooms and it smells terrible.
All of you guys are listening.
I bring my tofu and it's very neutered. It's neutered smell.
Common
All right,
courtesy.
Andrew.
Andrew.
Hey guys.
Andrew.
Long time.
Andrew,
Yeah.
how are you?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good.
You guys look a little tired. Long
Okay.
day.
Very long day.
Pushing
Don't call
sets
us
around.
out.
Pushing sets around, singing songs.
Oh.
There people are working on the set behind us right now. By the way,
Yeah.
we are not. We close the curtain and we just ask them not to use a drill. There's still construction going We've been here all day. So Andrew, you've been here for 2 years?
This is my second year. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's a lot of fun. A lot more work than high school. If you're looking for a high school show, this is not it. There's a lot more work. It's definitely professional. That's the way I describe it.
So I have a question for you.
Yes, Josh.
If you could you just give us an introduction of who you are and what you play in the show?
All right. My name is Jaehan in the show. What that character does is he's Frollo's little brother. So
Who's taller?
Yeah. That's
The first time we did it, Jaehan was much shorter than Frollo. This time, Jaehan's much taller than Frollo.
Never
Sorry.
the same height.
Yeah.
Never.
There's always a height disparity.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you like playing Jaehan?
It's fun, I think that it's a kind of a remotely small part, but I think there's a lot packed into it. Your sword fell.
That's very real. That was a
It was the Phantom from a
That
couple.
was,
yeah.
He
That was
sees
a
Phantom
sound
of the
effect
Opera.
that was added to the computer.
no, it's just, small part, but there's a lot of stuff packed inside of it. So
Yeah, that part in Florica in the show, without, if you haven't seen the show before, I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but they come back intermittently throughout the show, to kind of usher in new themes and scenes and bring back reoccurring ones. There's some moments where, it's chilling. Like,
Yeah.
you just, out of nowhere, it's like this character that died in the beginning. Spoiler alert, it's in the opening. But comes back in and then, has something to say. So,
Quite meaningful.
yeah, quite meaningful.
Tom Holland of the group.
where?
Right here.
Jacob.
Spoilers.
It happens in the first 3 minutes.
Okay.
I'm not
Let
giving
them watch
away
the
But
the
now
first
they're
ending.
gonna
3
be
minutes.
late. They're gonna be like, oh, I don't have to see the first 3 minutes
Yeah.
because Jake spoiled it.
You know what?
We're gonna have like half the
As
group
long
coming
as
at
the-
7:05.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm sure. But regardless, last year you kind of had a secret part which we can't talk about.
Okay.
But how does it feel like getting more responsibility from last year compared to this year?
You know what? I disagree with you. I think there's more responsibility last year than
Really?
this year. Yeah, see, listen, if I screw up something this year, that's like, oh, it sucks. If I screwed something last year, it would have that
Yeah.
would have really sucked. And you know this, so
Yeah. But I feel like you. Okay, so in the terms of creating that magic on stage, definitely there's a lot more emphasis in the scene you were in.
yeah.
And last year, but this year it's like you have lines.
That's true.
You play multiple characters.
That's true,
You
too.
have many solo and feature lines, and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
true, that's true,
You know,
that's true.
I often say the statues have a bigger part than anyone else in the show because they're on the stage the most.
Listen, we
That's
do a lot.
very true, yeah. Statue's a big part of the show.
They double as stage crew too, so
Yeah.
it is a lot.
You fly.
Yeah, we all know that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like the new responsibility. I think it's fun to kind of indulge new areas of aspects. I've never done what I did last year. I've never done anything like that before. And then this year I've done stuff like this, but it's just fun to do different stuff. So
I think a lot of us, which after we're done with you, we're going to talk about the professional world for a while, but I feel like professional is often conflated with paid. I've been in many things that have paid that I would not consider professional. As something like this, where no one here is paid, the only money lining any pockets are for the next show.
wait, what?
I said the only money lining any
No,
pockets.
I heard that part. I'm saying we're not getting paid.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, you are. You get
Yep.
You
Oh,
said
I
it
get a
again.
high five.
Crisp.
A Chris high five.
Chris.
Yeah,
Crisp.
Yes.
if you do good.
Oh,
If you do
well,
good.
that
Yeah.
sucks for me, I guess.
But there's professional versus paid, and there are many things I've done that I've gotten paid for that were not professional, and there's many things that I've not gotten paid for which I deem professional. I mean, the amount of effort that goes into this, the amount of screaming that goes into communicating from one side of the stage to the other. I talked about this last time, but I went to see Into the Woods in Chicago. The one that's on Spotify, for God's sake. Everyone's freaking out about this cast, and there wasn't a set. And this is 4% of our set. We're just kind of giving you a little taste. There's something being built right now, right over there. There's a lot of pieces, of moving pieces, and don't look. It's private.
You're peeking. No peeking.
but but we've got lots of sets, and my favorite line from the Oh Hello was, "Imagine a Broadway show exceeding your expectations by having a set." And technically, we are just off Broadway.
And we
Technically.
have
Yeah, and we have
Sets.
sets, lots of sets.
big sets,
Cool sets.
Very cool.
heavy sets.
Yes, they are very heavy, and it's really hard to find people willing to move them. So if you happen to want to do stage crew, it's not too late to volunteer. But
It's not. Nana.
Tyrese.
but yeah. So do you see yourself doing this more often in the future?
Oh yeah, definitely. I obviously do in high school, but this has been a lot of fun experience because I just didn't respect myself doing summer stuff. But then you're like, hey, you should do Beauty and Beast, and I was like, oh, what, that would be fun, and I was bored, so I did it, and then that was a lot of fun, and then I'm doing it now, so
Yeah.
I can see myself continuing to do this process all
That's
the
where
way
the
through.
addiction gets you.
It's the addiction. It's the
addiction.
addiction.
Yeah,
It's
it's
getting
it is very difficult to kind of once you go into theater, it's like I remember this summer. It's like I'm done after this summer and this and that, and with whatever cards have for next summer, I don't know. But I was like in the middle of the show, I was like, man, I kind of like doing this, even though I said
You said a lot of things.
yeah. I still say a lot of things, but it's like every time you start it, you think of all the negative things that come with you sit through the long chorus rehearsals, and you're like, man, why do I do this to myself? And then you get to that week before the shows, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh God, this is real. People are going to
adrenaline
watch
rush.
this. I mean, I think this is one of the only shows that people cry during rehearsals, not because of us yelling at them, but because of how sad the show is.
But beautiful and good and
Yeah.
Sweet.
moving,
Sweet. It's semi-sweet.
heartfelt.
It's
Semi-sweet.
Heart-touching.
bittersweet.
That's the word. I just couldn't think of it. Okay.
Bittersweet.
All right. Okay. Bittersweet. It's the same thing.
Come and find out.
Come and find out. If you liked Les Mis, you will love this. This takes everything in Les Mis and amps it up to 100. And Les Mis is up there. Anything else you want to share?
Nope.
Thank
So
you,
we'll be
Andrew.
seeing you next year?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah.
We'll be seeing you tomorrow for set building.
Are we building sets tomorrow?
We're building sets every
And now
day
he's
till
in
we
the loop.
open.
Are you being serious?
Yes.
Okay.
You're also getting a Chris $5. I mean, five
High five.
five.
Chris,
There
high
we go.
five.
Almost
Okay.
slipped up there.
I'll see if I could show up tomorrow. I didn't know that was a thing.
Not real money.
All right. Well.
Five
Thank
fingers.
you, Andrew.
Got it.
All right, we have 15 people now. We're going to start some trivia.
Trivia.
All right, so let's get some markers out. Let's start
color do you
taking
want?
tally.
Board.
Bored.
So this is Alumni Edition. So I permit you, if you're not very up to the Ross mythos, to kind of use Google here, because it will be kind of hard to figure it out. But this is Trivia Alumni Edition. So if you're very, keen to Ross alumni and people we've worked with in the past, this will be very easy for you. But other people, this will be kind of difficult.
Good luck.
Yes. So first off, the RSMT alumni who played Valjean in the national tour of Les Miserables. Diego, my favorite memory is meeting Jake. Aw, Diego.
Uh-oh.
Hunchback is the best set.
Don't you know this?
Milagro.
don't
I honestly would have to disagree there. I think Beauty and the Beast has the best set. That castle is unmatched. I've never seen anything cooler. But I do like Hunchback as well. The bells are really cool. Patrick Lewis. I have 100 of them, but a favorite was spending 2.5 days working on sets and never slept dinner meals, morning, noon, or night. We actually have a saying that we don't leave till tomorrow.
We don't leave till tomorrow.
And this week, there will be lots of people that aren't leaving till tomorrow. Rehearsal ends around 10, 10:30, 11.
Put it on a t-shirt. We don't leave till tomorrow.
Yeah. So, Ross merch. We don't leave till tomorrow. All right. We got a couple answers. 3, 2, 1. The answer is Brian Lynch. Give Steve Elser and Jacob Herr a point.
I didn't get a point.
No, because she said not a clue.
Cassidy, we got to do better.
Okay.
Can I see that?
Patrick Lewis,
Hey, guys.
2.
You're telling the names.
All right. Some fun facts about Brian Lynch. Brian Lynch also toured with Cats and Aspects of Love, performing on the road for over 8 years. Before taking to the road, Lynch was a regular at Candlelight Dinner Playhouse in Summit, where he performed and choreographed over 10 years. 4 of his Candlelight shows were nominated for Chicago's Joseph Jefferson Award, Grease, Follies, Zorba, and Bye Bye Birdie. He received the Best Choreographer Award for Grease, where he also played the lead role of Danny Zuko. Brian just retired from his job teaching acting and dance at North Central College, where he started a summer theater program like RSMT. Way to go, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
All right, next question. RSMT alumni that was just seen recently in Elf at Drury Lane Theater in Chicago.
I know this
I
one.
know this one as well. I'm going to do the fun one.
The fun one.
Yeah. Uh-oh. You put this right here. No cheating.
We have the same answer.
We do have the same answer, but still.
What does Josh's board say?
Says
It's Kyler's board.
It's Kyler, bro.
Getting to.
We're also hosting with our friend Kyler.
yeah. This is,
Josh has a bit of a split personality. He shares a spotlight with a fellow named Kyler.
you might get to meet him, or you might not. Come see the
Depends.
show.
Come find out.
Jalen, not Does that one count? Sure. Because that's technically right.
Can I see?
Wow, I bet I know who he said, but I can't think.
All right, give Jalen a bonus point
Oh, wow. Yeah.
because we didn't even have that down. So you're more in the loop than we are, Jalen.
I can't think of his name.
Jalen, if you can get the other one.
If you give another
2
one, we'll give you
points.
3.
Oh. You go ahead and give me a point on there, too.
I did.
I will be right back.
Everything is happening. Potty break?
Are we still waiting for people to answer? For
Yes, give him a couple more seconds.
That one? Okay.
Now
I
it's
am
time for
parched.
entertainment with Cassidy and Kyler.
Oh, Kyler.
Kyler.
Hi, Kyler. Welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Kyler, do you want to explain the set piece to your left for us?
To my left.
Yes, that way.
So this right here is for a scene. It's called the Feast of Fools. Oh, and we have a
look,
face.
We have our very own Feast of Fools right there.
And it's last year's king. And it's the ugliest in the town.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that set piece?
It's really difficult to move. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Difficult to move?
It's very difficult to move. Trying to get that on and off stage while there's chorus and also other leads coming on, it's a challenge. But it's also fun to see the outcome and how the entire set piece works. So, if you're in for a treat and you want to come check it out, I think you should.
Probably one of the happiest scenes in the...
Yeah. Probably, yeah. That and tavern. Yeah.
Thanks, Kyler.
Give Jalen 3
Anytime.
points.
3 points for Jalen.
Yes.
Wow.
He's on a roll with this one.
The correct answer was Adrian Weaver. Adrian
I
Weaver.
said the cool version.
Adrian Weaver's from when I was looking up to the higher ups. Adrian Weaver played Javert and the baritone in the Barbershop Quartet in Music Man. He played Javert in Les Mis and also did a few years of Scrooge. He has worked as a professional actor all over the country with leads in Ragtime, Rent, Color Purple, and in Chicago this past year. Adrian has performed in Forever Plaid and Elf. Adrian is in New York with some awesome news to announce in the future. I think he's doing a more lucrative form of business now, but hopefully he will take the stage again.
I think he's doing a Taylor Swift
Yeah, Medley.
Thing.
Yeah, I saw
Medley,
that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Isn't that in Chicago?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, he and a group of other musicians
Actors,
Yeah.
actresses.
from all around.
Next one up.
Wait, is Jaehan the only one that got points for that?
Yes, he is.
Oh. Okay, Jaehan.
Good job, Jalen.
What RSMT alum has had a role on The Sopranos, Gotham, Tulsa King, and starred in Team Marco? This one's really easy to Google. These are film and television roles. Let me see.
It's funny because I was just reading an article about him at the studio
Oh, yeah?
that is posted, and I could not tell you his name. So, clearly, not getting a point for that one.
I think this is worth a point, Jake. What do you say?
I
No,
don't think so.
they all are.
Okay. Oh, I got you. Mind.
Sopranos, Golfa, Tulsa King, and he had the lead role in Team Marco. And back to Jaehan. The correct answer is Adrian Weaver, but Gabriel Solis was also an elf. He did Scrooge with us.
was
Has
a
he
tiny
did anything
elf.
else with us? Or just Scrooge?
Did he do some
He did
Some
kids camps and stuff like
studio
that.
stuff?
Studio stuff. He was a member of the Ross's educational extension during the pandemic. We had a program for homeschool children. Another notable person I don't think is on here is Elias Tolman. He's done Scrooge a couple times. I think actually just one time, but he was also part of our educational program, and he is all over the place now. Owen Vaccaro, no. All right, we're going to move on. The correct answer is Tony Patalis.
Yeah, that's what I had.
No, it's not. Cassie had a guy, and Kyler's drawing triangles.
No, the answer's going to be there.
Okay. So, after getting his start on the stage at Maryville High School and Ross Music Theater, Patalis went on to New York City, where he had a long career as an actor and director. Patalis has appeared in plays all over the world, on television shows like Law & Order and The Sopranos, and in many television commercials, including in Denny's first ever Super Bowl ad in 2009.
Denny's first Super Bowl ad?
Yes.
I like Denny's.
I like
We
Super
don't
Bowl
have
ads.
any more around us.
Football and food.
All right, next one up. This alumni was the voice of Victor in Thomas and Friends.
Oh, I know this one. Go us. Don't know how good the camera angle is.
Yes, Peanut Gallery?
No,
Good job.
this one I need to see the chat for. Ooh.
Do it. Do it.
So Cassidy?
I can't see that.
Don't worry
Who?
about it. I'll tell you later.
Not, but who? Oh.
We're going to close it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. David Bedella. Give Eliza and Diego a point.
Woohoo!
Dave has had a great success since leaving RSMT. He is currently living in London, where he has won an Olivier Award, the British equivalent to our Tonys, in 2004, 2016, and 2020. David has hosted his own live chat show, David Bedella and Friends, which won London's Cabaret Society and Best Long-Running Cabaret Award in 2015. Dave toured with Ted Neely's Jesus Christ Superstar playing Caiaphas. And for those of you that don't know, that is the original cast from the movie. Dave was in the PBS Live version of Chess and Rocky Horror Picture Show as Frankenfurter. Not in Chess, just Rocky Horror. Dave is now getting into film. He can be seeing Jack Ryan as a president in season 3.
Wow. I was going to start watching that show.
And he's in it.
Cool.
What was Dave Bedella's first acting role?
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Not professional acting role, so this is kind of a little niche. I'll give you a hint for the folks at home.
Oh,
I can't think of his name.
what's that? Tell me if I'm going the right way, Jake.
Just what show? What show was it?
Okay, that's helpful because I can't think of his name.
Diego Escamalaga for help on that one.
Just the right show?
Kyler's got it, dude.
Did you ask for the role or the...
The show. No one's gonna know the role.
Am I right?
No. Now you're right.
Okay, but was I right with the...
Is this right?
You're right with the top and not the bottom. Nope.
Thank you.
Eh.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was Bye Bye Birdie. He was the newspaper reporter, and he had a whopping 1 line.
That's a lot.
Wow, we should do Bye Bye Birdie again, right, Mike?
No. Bye Bye Birdie's terrible.
Oh,
It's a great show. So cute.
you know what show isn't terrible? Hunchback of Notre Dame.
It's not. Come
It's
see
amazing.
it.
Come find out. Anyone get that one?
You'll cry in the best way possible.
I got that one.
He's our most recent alum to hit gold. Was in Spamlot. Oh, I thought it meant URL.
Question number 5.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a typing. We're skipping that one.
Why?
Wait, what was it?
You should have read it beforehand.
Oh,
I don't know. It looked like a URL.
Well,
Yeah, we can't do that one.
why not?
You read it.
The question?
Yeah.
I don't know how to format in a question.
I
Moving
think
on.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to? We know, but
Yeah.
the slideshow. So
It's an alumni that was in Spamlot and had just an incredible run on Final 8 on The Voice.
This past season. Was that not supposed to be a question?
when did you magically come up with the 2?
Come up with what?
There was a 1.
When we were talking about the thing.
Oh.
Kyler was there for that, not Josh.
Yeah.
Wait, did anyone get the last question? Bye Bye Birdie?
Yep.
Adios, birdie. How do you say
Bye
bird?
Bye.
How do you say? How do you say bird in Spanish? Jasmine. Bird in Spanish. Birdie. Pajarito.
Pajarito.
How you say bye bye?
Adios, adios.
I'm going to have a burrito tomorrow.
Adios, adios.
No, say that.
Abarijo? Bajarijo.
Adios, pajarito.
Pajarillo.
I got
Okay,
it.
as much as I love the interactive Spanish lesson. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Rayshawn Mills. Jalen has gotten it.
He gets a roll point because he said the full name. No, that doesn't count because we both saw it. That's why I didn't.
But you would have answered it correctly,
I would have.
so I'm giving us a point.
You give us both a point?
Yeah.
There are many alumni that have gone to perform professionally. Many got their start right on the stage, like Rick Warner, Dan Proctor, who have come back and supported Ross events while performing professionally in Chicago. Gary Earp, Steve Voyevich, Crystal Martin, just to name a few.
Wait, who got the last one? Jalen and...
Jalen. There are also many successful people who during their high school years performed with Ross. So who can tell me who started in Bye Bye Birdie playing Hugo and is now a beloved principal in our area?
I don't know it anywhere. Drawing a blank. I drew it.
You wrote it. You're giving them clues? Uh-oh.
He starred in our Spamalot in 2014.
That was a fun show.
Gets a Googling on Playbill, and you might just...
Were we doing Playbill then?
I don't know. I would assume so, because 3 years later we were.
2014, 2017.
Yeah. Hunchback. Or
Five,
that's Into the Woods.
4, 3, 2, 1. Patrick Lewis and Steve Elser get 1. Doug DeLauter.
I knew it was Doug.
Next up, what alum is a world-renowned heart surgeon? Not Doug DeLauter. Some of those are just coming in now. Huh.
The answer I'm going with... Mini talents.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give a point to Steve Elser. It is Mike Tuchek. He was not only a 4-year Ross person, he was also a MHS vocal teen. He has offices in Northwest Indiana and Chicago. We have another well-known doctor that came from RSMT. Doug Zale is a very successful ophthalmologist in the area.
That's a big word.
Yes, I'm surprised I got that on the first
Yeah.
try.
That was good.
How you spell that? Let's see.
At least 3 priests, a nun, many nurses, and countless music and drama teachers, and just teachers in general have come through the RSMT ranks.
I don't think so. Not just.
Is that how you spell it?
I don't know, man.
Do you have any more questions?
Let's see here. We got a couple more bonus tidbits. Alumni tech people working in the business. Nana Sabri, Teva Cunningham, Jeff Gooch, Tom Dobes,
Tom.
and Alex Lee works in Hollywood as a sound editor. I think my favorite story is the, can I tell that story? He was working on the renowned Marvel film Thor 2: A Dark World. And the director was very offended that Alex did not recognize him when there was torrential downpour going on, and asked that he be removed, but had to work on it in secret. But he's working on a bunch of other stuff. It's always really cool hearing about like the technical end of a lot of the Hollywood movies. Yeah.
Gotta love that.
There's probably a lot more people who come through here that go off and do their own things. It's always funny that a lot of the people who like hit it the biggest just started with chorus here. There's always this kind of stigma towards chorus. It's like in shows like this, especially, like the chorus is the biggest part of the show. Like Frollo singing Hellfire to just the audience isn't that impactful, but you seeing the robed figures pointing at Frollo, it's terrifying. There's many scenes in like the city of Paris, you need giant crowds and stuff like that. And when the chorus, is with it, it looks great. And it really sells the effect. And Kyler here is writing something.
Fun fact.
That is Belle in the cartoon of Hunchback of Notre
in real
Dame.
life, guys. I'm right
Yeah,
here.
in real life, was in the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
I'm right here.
With her books.
Steve Elser worked
This
tech
is
in
pre-captured.
Candlelight Dinner Playhouse.
Yes, Belle was in Hunchback pre-capture. She was still reading her books on the street of Paris.
She's probably singing about the little town.
I believe so. I think
Which is
that
crazy because
We'd sing
was
about-
it a little town?
it doesn't. It really
Well,
wasn't.
maybe she's just visiting Paris for a day.
But she lived there.
She lives in Paris.
She lives in Paris?
Yeah.
Little town. Well, maybe it's on the outskirts of Paris.
I guess the baker man really does bake.
In the bells. Wow. All the
I don't
connections.
know how the domain in Paris works. All I know is we here at Ross, we really like to do the Deformed Frenchman trifecta, Hunchback, Phantom of the Opera, and Beauty and the Beast. And even Les Mis takes place in France. France does not seem like a fun place to live, is what we've been taught throughout my childhood. There's civil wars, there's gypsy burnings, there's
Bigotry.
there's wars with people on coconut horses. There's ghosts in opera houses. There's monsters that kidnap girls. It does not seem like the optimal place to raise a child. All right,
And on that note,
moving on. That's all our trivia.
This is my favorite.
So,
song.
the person winning right now is Jalen.
Shocking.
woo!
Jalen has 4 points. Real life crossover, Cassidy. That's right.
A big,
Big
bonus.
bonus.
Jinx.
You owe me a soda.
Ross Music Theater called, Ross Summer Music Theater called, before it was called Ross Summer Music?
For people who didn't hear that, what was Ross Summer Music Theater called before it was Ross Summer Music Theater? That's a good question.
I don't know that.
Do you know, Jake?
No.
Oh.
Ross Teen Musical Theater. It was all high school kids, and when we have young kids here, people nowadays like, well, that crowd, the Ross is for the younger people. It is in fact not. We got people of all ages in our shows.
Yeah.
It made me giggle. The story of what'd you got? we have a story of last time we did Hunchback, of a girl coming out to audition because someone informed her that Ross does shows for younger people. That is false. We just have a lot of talented younger people. And if you are talented at a young age and you fit the part the best, you get the part. We try to make age discrimination less of a thing. If you're younger and you can play older, great. If you're older and you can play younger, great. Nowadays, and Cassidy and I are closer to 30 than we are 20.
Okay.
And you still consider us young kids, but we're getting up there
Shocked a few people this summer with
with that.
ages.
Yeah,
It's fun.
I remember Phoebus saying, "So what school?" Does I remember Phoebus saying,
Gracefully.
"What school do you go to?" And I said, "I don't go to school." "Oh, are you taking a gap year?" "Sure."
He also asked
About-
Cassidy that.
About hopefully 80 of them. Just
80.
80 gap years. We're getting a lot of new people coming in, and yeah, a lot of people are younger, and I don't think that it's a really necessarily good idea to discourage youth from auditioning anywhere. So we have had this thing at Ross where we cast everyone. Even if it's not a huge part, we find a place for people, and this summer is no exception.
Even if you sign up to audition and don't audition, your name is going to be on the list.
Sure is.
Miss Haley. She chickened out and didn't audition, but she filled everything out online. And so when the cast list came out and she saw her name, she said, I guess I'm in the show. And what an amazing, wonderful, great help she has been.
And we have a bunch of... What'd you write down?
Alto
Queen. We have a bunch of new people kind of filling in roles that have been, left empty. And we talk about this often, but like Georgia and Trish, their absence is, always felt. And obviously Mrs. Reinhardt and Mr. Reinhardt too, senior. Yeah.
I have to throw that in there.
Well, the weird thing is, I have students doing the shows
They
now.
call you.
Yeah, and they call me Mr. Reinhardt.
You're junior.
And I remember going up to my dad once. I said, "You're Mr. Reinhardt Senior now." But all these absences are really felt. But it's like this summer, it's like a lot of people have like stepped up. We have a large absence in the sense of stage crew. We've got people move on and stuff, and we have Beth. She's on stage and she's helping out a lot off stage. When it comes to music and sectionals, we have Lauren and Haley taking over a lot of the learning musical parts. My mom taking more of a big role in the pit. Jasmine taking a big load in the sense of sewing and costumes. And Diana, too, backstage all the time working. A lot of these shoes that have been left empty have a lot of feet in them to replace them, but it's almost relieving in a way. Because there's just so much stress and pressure sometimes to see people step up free of charge. It's always appreciated, and it's just like almost rebuilding off the skeletal framework that's been left through all these years. You got something there for us, Cassidy?
Just more concession stuff if you wanted to.
Go for it.
So to add on to just everyone helping out and always going the extra mile, and really doing all that they can to make everyone coming to see the show have the best experience. Missy goes above and beyond every year. You don't think she can do any better, and then she does. So we talked about the food we were going to have last time, so I have a little breakdown of some of the food. All of it. I won't read all of it because there's a lot of it, and it looks really tasty. So we have some hero sub sandwiches. It is chopped salami, pepperoni, provolone, lettuce, tomato, onion stuffed in a bun. Some turkey salsa crudo, corn chips, turkey, cheese, and summer veggies. Florentine fettuccine, pasta in a cream sauce with chicken, sun-dried tomatoes, baby spinach, and there's more, but we're going to move on to the sweets. There are some strawberry cheesecake waffle cone, fresh strawberries layered in a waffle cone with cheesecake topped with strawberry crunch. Raspberry almond cake pops, fresh raspberries layered inside the cake pop covered with chocolate. It's wonderful. Banana pudding parfaits, fresh bananas and Nilla wafers layered with banana cream pudding. Now, I know that one is my father's favorite, so you're just going to have to come and taste it to see if he's right or not. Handmade, homemade, frozen treats, campfire Rocky Road ice cream, chocolate ice cream, smoky almonds, graham crackers with a torched marshmallow toppings. She just goes all out. Chocolate covered strawberry ice cream, fresh strawberry ice cream layered with chocolate ganache. Mango sweet chili popsicles, pureed mango layered with sweet chili paste, ube cookie dough ice cream, ube flavored ice cream, tropical vanilla flavored with chocolate chip cookie dough. I mean, there's so much more that I didn't even say, but all of that sounds really great.
Sounds exciting to me.
It's really easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Half of those words are. What is ube?
It is a purple yam. I've never had it. Tropical vanilla flavor. Is that how you would describe it?
Ube?
Yeah. No? Okay.
Like a sweet potato, but more like, not sweet, but more fruity-ish.
Okay. Well, you guys, we're just going to have to try it. And same with you guys at home when you come to the show.
And we talk a lot about, these new things, like concession stand is like in all intents and purposes new. It's just in the past 5 years, 6 years, the concession stand's been like a big feature here. And it's, a lot of people love it a lot. And just shows you how much can change in such a short time. And like how Ross has changed from the time that I was a kid even to now. I remember, a wide age variety, but it's just like, you think, oh, it's just a bunch of young kids now. And like, okay, so there's us, which we had the arrows pointing to us that said old. We got a lot of people in our mid and late 20s. We got a lot of people in their 40s and 50s. We've got a wide range of ages here, and it's becoming more and more resembling what I grew up with as a kid. I'm just in a different position now.
Yeah.
Can we get in early on Sunday to have lunch before the show? Good question.
I want to say the answer is yes, that sometimes concessions will open before the show. The house, if it is alumni night, which is the 23rd, yes. House opens 30 minutes before the show. So concessions normally opens then as well. So yeah, come get some great food and then during intermission, eat some dessert.
All right, I've been thinking on this. Most of the people who have most of the points are in the show. We can't really award you free tickets to the show because you're in the show. But Jalen, the 4 points is impressive. So between Jalen, Steve, and Eliza,
You guys were our top ones.
I will let you guys decide who you want to divvy up your points to. Your options are, who is this?
I can't see that.
Oh, Jacob Herr. It looked like Joseph for some reason.
I saw that too.
So Jacob Herr.
Who?
Okay. Diego and Patrick Lewis. So, Jalen, you have 4 points to distribute. Steve, you have 3 points to distribute. Eliza, you have 2. You can give them to Jacob Herr, Diego, or Patrick Lewis. Now, I know Milagro and Diego. Maybe I'm just putting in a little bias, but they see everything we do.
They do. They're great friends, great people.
They are. And Pat, he is a great alumni. No, me. All right, so here's what I think we're going to do. So Jacob Herr's not going to be here?
For any weekend?
Europe?
Oh, sounds
All right.
nice.
So I think we have it kind of decided here. Instead of giving one person all the glory, Jalen, thank you, Jalen. For the food coupons, Milagro and Diego, congratulations. Thank you for tuning in both times and being active participants. And for the season pass, you got Patrick Lewis.
Woo!
So your entire RSMT season will be covered.
Wait, this year?
Well, starting from this show all the way to the next one.
Okay.
So next summer,
Yes. What that entails, we don't know yet. But you got tickets for it all.
Wow, thanks for playing, guys. That was a difficult one for sure, but hopefully you learned a little bit more about the history and people of Ross.
Yeah. All right. We our audience, in studio audience, has thinned out a little bit.
Hey, I did think of one of my favorite backstage memories.
Did you?
It only took you an hour.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I won't go into too much detail, but I will say, when we were young children, elementary students doing summer shows, Lucas Reinhart was quite the character, let me tell you. Jacob now has become more the extrovert, I think, of the family, but back then Lucas was the extrovert, and I won't say what exactly, but he would go around to anyone in the cast that would listen and ask them if he wanted them to teach, if they wanted to learn a phrase in sign language. And he was probably like 6 or 7, and
He was asking someone to make,
him a sandwich.
yes,
And so that was,
and calling them a specific name.
and now he was like,
show the at-home audience.
no, I won't. But he was quite young. I think it was when we did Oliver or Les Mis. I don't remember. But yeah, Frollo and Quasimodo, they signed to each other a few times in this show, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, wow, Lucas used to do that all the time backstage. And he did it to me, the saying that he used to do at the very end of the show when I was doing something really moving and beautiful, and tried to get me to break, but he didn't. So, yeah.
Speaking of Lucas Reinhart,
He's gone.
I think he went home.
did he leave?
Yeah.
Right there.
I was trying to
There's
save him.
boxes. Lucas! You want to come up and sign? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Come and join the party. Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
If you want.
We'll talk to Lucas and then we'll say goodnight. Just a reminder, we open on Friday the 21st at 7:30, Saturday the 22nd at 7:30, Sunday the 23rd at 3 o'clock, and then the following weekend, which is what, the 28th, 29th, and the 30th. Tickets are available online and at the door. Hey,
This is
Lucas.
your idea.
Oh.
Take over.
Yeah.
So we'll just pick up from signing. You don't have to sign what you said
We're
to
still
us.
on the story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were you not listening?
No, he was.
No, I was sadly.
You guys, you and Jacob have like learned some sign for the show. What made you guys want to do that? And what do you think it just does for the show and for the character?
Yeah, last time we did a little bit of sign language. We did a lot of ASL because our aunt, she has 2 sons that are deaf, so we learned through her some American Sign Language. And there's definitely some ASL we still use in the show, but I've been trying to look up, like, it's called LSF. I can't pronounce it, but it's French Sign Language because,
Okay.
it takes place in France, so
Yeah.
I thought, something different.
When you look at the script, a lot of the language is in English, and then there are like certain phrases in French.
You sing in Latin sometimes, too.
It's in
so-
Latin, so it's like
Romanian.
it's trying to stay true to that usage of words where there are some things, I believe, pity, city, and other stuff we do, and then we have some new French ones like before sanctuary. What was sanctuary before?
I think we just did this.
Sanctuary. Now it's sanctuary.
That is actually ASL, though.
Yeah,
I
it's
couldn't
ASL.
find French for sanctuary.
I know protect, we learned it as this, but now that is known as Wakanda Forever. So our new protect is I think
It's this one.
the protect. That's the one. The Ben 10 power up. But I have all these little phrases in my mind to kind of remind me what each one is. But we've got lots of what are some of the French ones we've been doing? Because I've been following him most of the time.
Well, in that song, we do the whole faithful,
Faithful,
grateful.
grateful.
I think ASL for grateful is just this. So it's like
Yeah.
small changes sometimes. But I just think it adds a different layer to it, at least that I can appreciate.
And the
I'm pretty
audience
sure
too.
yeah, but like if our cousins come to see who are deaf, like I think they'll be like, that's not how you say that.
Yeah.
They might be a little confused. but-
Yeah, but Fier le Camp, it's like that's not how you say something. English too. So
Yeah.
it goes the same way. So I feel like it's inclusive in the sense that it excludes the same audience from part of the dialogue. Where you have certain French terms, and I just like, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know what Fier le Camp means. But Phoebus says it, and it sounds great.
Well, we sing a lot in Latin too, and
Yeah.
some Romanian. So
It's Romanian. Yeah, that's right. There's even some Romanian. So there's a lot of different. I think one of the most touching uses of sign language is when Esmeralda and Quasimodo are in the tower, and they sing, "It's nice the two of us sitting," and Quasimodo teaching Esmeralda some sign language, and then Esmeralda going along. It's just a really touching moment, and also adds a lot of depth between Quasimodo and Frollo. Frollo is represented as this, authoritarian, dictator, which there's definitely valid arguments for that. But in the movie, you see this kind of cartoonish villain that hates Quasimodo and everything, and he's just mean to Quasimodo. But in the musical, however, you see a much more mature and nuanced relationship between Quasimodo and Frollo that oftentimes mimics, a father-son relationship.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about Frollo in the musical is that he, like in the movie, he would never taken time to teach Quasimodo sign language. Like he would
Yeah.
never,
or learn it himself.
or learn it himself. So like the fact that he's willing to do that in the musical is kind of telling of how more complex Frollo is in the show. And in the movie, he was more evil from the beginning.
Yeah.
In the show, it really shows his downward spiral, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, there's someone, it was a chorus member that brought something interesting that
Yeah.
I've known the show for 5 years, and most of the dialogue anyway. But they said the first act is Frollo's show, and the moment he actually commits to going downward the spiral, it switches to Quasimodo's perspective. And I want to give away the things that happen, but there is a moment towards the end of the first act that Frollo does something that is discernibly wrong, and after that it switches perspectives to Quasimodo. And I remember people the last time they saw the show, because again I don't want to give away the ending because it is different than the movie, so if you've seen the movie, throw away expectations. I beg you to throw away expectations. It is a very different experience, but a beautiful one nonetheless. I remember hearing stories of the Memorial Opera House version and Frollo getting booed. And I was like, I don't want that to happen. And everyone's like, well, it was in good fun because he was the villain. I'm like, I don't want to get booed under any circumstance. So,
I've been booed before.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
The sister act, I played the villain in that. I got booed at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely you can't really expect everyone to come in and be a theater person, especially if you're trying to reach new audiences, so they don't really understand that you're not a villain, you're just playing one. And we do some things with Quasimodo and Frollo's relationship that even the script doesn't directly say. It leaves a lot open to interpretation, and there's a softness between the two of them. And in the movie, I'll keep it to the beginning of the first act, first 10 minutes, to avoid any spoilers. In the movie, there's a song, "You are deformed, and you are ugly," and it's Frollo basically just making fun of Quasimodo. But in the context of the musical, this is after he, tells Quasimodo a story, spends some quality of time with him, brings him treats and stuff to keep him entertained throughout the day, says how he wishes he can stay, and then they share a couple laughs together, and then Frollo says something that offends Quasimodo, and he sees that it offends him, and he goes to comfort him, and that's when that song comes in, and he's explaining to Quasimodo why he can't go out in the real world. It comes from a place of care and just wanting to protect. And that's a big thing, is what level are you protecting someone, and when are they free? And it is a nuanced relationship, and it's one worth exploring and seeing for yourself.
Anything you want to say about this summer's process, past summer shows, favorite experiences, least favorite experience. Just kidding, they're all great.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Anything you want to add? You've been doing this for a long time, and so I'm sure you have a lot of probably like great things to say.
Yeah, for the 8 people watching.
There's like 22 a minute ago.
Yeah, good for them, man.
Even if it's 8, they're important.
Hey. No, I'm very appreciative of the time I've spent here and grateful for all the opportunities, all the people I've met. Hanging out with you guys. Cassidy, you annoy me, but it's okay.
Okay,
Josh, you have
goodbye.
your
Thanks
moments
for
too.
watching, guys.
Huh? I have my moments,
You have your moments.
as I should.
No, I'm just playing. I love everyone here. I appreciate all you guys. You know, the show wouldn't be the same without you guys. You know, I feel like some people just go like, because, you know, we're the kids of the Reinharts, so it's always that kind of thing of like, oh, they just get the parts and stuff like that. But, you know, the amount of work we had to get to where we are. Like, you weren't a singer for a long time.
I didn't sing until my freshman year of high school. So
And
I've
no
been singing
offense,
only
you
11
weren't
years.
like really good at singing until your junior year.
No.
So like it took you time to grow. That's great. I've been singing a lot, so
Choose your words more carefully.
okay. Okay. But like there's a period of time where like, you know, I wasn't getting leads because I was young, you know, I just wasn't ready for certain parts. I remember last time we did Hunchback. We didn't have that many people audition, but like there was one guy that's better than me for Quasimodo, but like he just didn't look the part. Like he was like 6'5", like a really big build.
And you're 6'3", so much.
Hey, chill out. But and I remember after I got the part, they're like, yeah, I think they had sat me down. I was like, yeah, you need to keep working at it because you weren't the best person on there, but you can be if you keep working.
And a lot of people who get parts are
Yeah,
yeah.
I respect it though. I needed that. Because like when I first did my audition was terrible. I didn't have the voice down. I didn't have like, even when I sang the songs, I wasn't that, you know. I was good, but I wasn't like great, you know.
What you
But
could be.
anyway, my point is just like, I know people tend to go like, oh, they're the Reinhardt kids, they get everything. But you know, I just want to say, proud of you for all the progress you've done, you know.
I remember in Phantom, that was my kind of come to Jesus moment where it was
Yeah.
like there was this A flat, and it was the bane of my existence.
Oh.
And I was so scared of this note, I spent like every day, and I just couldn't reach it. And an affirmation, you know, a certain someone was very vocal about my having that part. And I remember just being at home one day and seeing when no one else is around, and I get it, and I freaked out. I look over to see if anyone's there, and this is when Abby was still alive, and she looks at me, and her ears are all perked up. She's just excited because I'm excited, but I was like, had that little celebration with her in
Abby's
that
our
moment.
dog, by the way.
Was our dog. Yeah. And I remember like that was a moment where I was just like, everyone was like kind of rooting for me to fail. And, you know, Beauty and the Beast, you know, that summer, individual had made some comments that I don't think they had meant to put out publicly. I think it was supposed to be in the context of a message.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So someone like meant to like send in a private message because they like wrote an article because this is like our first time being leads in like a summer musical. I mean,
Together.
Yeah, it is like a thing like comparing last Beauty and the Beast we did in 2005 when we were like playing urchins or whatever.
Your
Comparing
chip and a footstool.
Yeah, and comparing it to you being the Beast and me being Lumiere, and someone meant to like DM someone talking about, oh, it's just like,
Oh, my word. Talk about preferential treatment.
yeah, but
Were the exact words.
they commented it underneath the post, and like everyone saw it.
And I
Yeah.
screenshot it,
Yeah.
and the individual had deleted the comment, but
And later apologized.
later apologized,
Good for
and
them.
I gave the individual tickets, and I think that's all water under the bridge. We both follow each other on
I don't
Instagram
think
now.
he came to see the show.
Did not, but we follow each other on Instagram.
Anyways,
But we follow each other on Instagram, and but it's been a constant uphill struggle, and I think that's why, like, between like me and Lucas, we may have a lot of conversations about potentially taking a more passive role in the upcoming shows, especially as Josh, it just gets better all the time. And Connor, who plays Phoebus, came out of the wet work and was just like super talented kid. Today we had Genesis and Ella fill in for Esmeralda because she couldn't be here. Super talented. Eliza filled in for Clopan. And it's just like there's so much talent here. And unless there's something like Lucas and I really, really want to do. Like, I think the conversations between us have been like,
I only got a couple more shows in me. That's all. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
I don't. It's just I've been like when you're doing this since you're like 5 years old. It's kind of like.
For me, it's a little different because I've only been doing it to the capacity since I
Right.
was like 15.
Yeah. And that's not me saying I'm like, oh, I'm sick and tired of everyone here. No, like if the first summer show that I don't do will be like actually kind of sad. Because that's how I spend all my summers. That's how I
Which is even more reason for everyone to come this summer to the show.
Yeah. Because there's only like 6 chances to see it, then it's gone.
And Lucas
Forever.
might go into early retirement.
And every show is a different show.
It is.
I'll still do shows, but it's just like my
Concurrent.
role. Yeah.
Concurrent, like we want to audition for feature roles and stuff like that. And like another thing people don't realize is like we had guys come out and audition this summer,
Yeah.
and they got parts.
Yeah, and the parts weren't guaranteed to us either. That's
No.
never how it is.
No, if there was a gentleman,
Like Jarius got my part last year
yeah,
doing.
That you wanted?
I mean, that's the part I had. I played Lumiere. He
Yeah.
played Lumiere last year because he was better fit for the part. I was better fit for Gaston, and that role, like nothing's like guaranteed either.
the first time we did Hunchback, I desperately wanted to play Quasimodo or Phoebus, and
And now you're the
Now-
king of fools.
now I'm a priest.
Play Quasimodo today.
I did get to play Quasimodo for a little bit today, which was fun. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows all the time. But kind of a weird pseudo announcement for not retirement, but us, kind of taking a step back from wanting to be like the forefront of all like the lead roles and stuff like that. Because truthfully, we do really like when new talent comes in here. It's great seeing, younger people get involved like we were when we were their age.
I personally miss competition.
Yeah.
Like when I got my first lead role and there was like people auditioning for it, because now like barely anyone auditions. It's like it's kind of hard to like I think like most of the guys that auditioned were here today. You know? It's not like we auditioned.
You'll get the occasional person, he's not that good. But you don't get like the genuine people who want to go out.
Wait,
and,
I missed that. What?
Don't worry about it.
don't worry about it. But you
We are off track.
no.
Besides the point,
Bring it back, bro.
I think
I was.
I think this cast is honestly, it's one of my favorite casts as far as so many new people. Andrew, who was up here, his show last year was his first show, and this year he came back and brought so many friends to do the show, and just people from Valpo and all over the area just doing the show and wanting to be a
Highland,
part of
Chesterton.
something. Highland, Chesterton, and they're so fun. I mean, we have a Facebook cast page, and there was one day everyone was just complimenting everybody in it. And I was like, this is so sweet. We have never done this before. Just shouting out people saying, hey, thank you, this
Josh
person
was the
for
one
doing
person
that.
complimented me.
And so this cast has been, it's maybe not as many new lead faces, but there are so many new faces and people that I've got to meet
The
this
most
summer.
new lead faces we've had, and
The thing about Hunchback is like, in my opinion, everyone's a lead. Like the amount of like times, like you said, the gargoyles are on stage, the statues are doing stuff. Like without them, like the show wouldn't be any good. Like if it was just like the leads on stage, I mean, yeah, we can sing pretty, but like none of the sets would be moving backstage.
Yeah.
Nothing would happen. Like it just wouldn't be a completely different show if they weren't as great as they are. So
And they are on and off stage.
I think
What a
I was
fun
talking.
cast.
Sorry, Genesis, but I was talking to you yesterday, and she had to film for Esmeralda, and she's usually a statue, and she said it was way less stressful being Esmeralda than
Just
being a
less to do.
gargoyle.
Oh man.
Because gargoyles are on the stage all the time; they're constantly moving stuff. It's probably a lot of pressure, and
No idea.
Yeah.
Those towers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, like Jasmine said, bruising, tears, blood, just.
Yeah,
Lots of
but
tears.
It's
But it's all worth it. I'm honestly really sad that, not sad that we opened this week, but I can't believe that the summer has gone by so fast. Mike always says, after the 4th of July, you're gonna blink and we're already gonna be opening the show. And we've literally, for me, it's like blinked and now we're getting ready to open on Friday the 21st at 7:30.
It's July 16th.
That's
it
crazy.
is July 16th,
So
15th.
Sorry.
Jesus,
Just-
Josh.
wish away time.
I have bad vision.
Anyways, I think we're gonna close out here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for playing with our trivia. Thank you just so much for the support. A lot of you watching have come and seen our shows, and we appreciate that. Go out, tell your friends, tell community, tell your coworkers. Come see the show. We all put so much work into it. I mean, every summer, but especially this summer. It's been a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun work. And the music, you just can't miss the music in this show. So July 21st is when we open at 7:30, and then Saturday at 7:30 the 22nd, Sunday the 23rd, which is our alumni night. So if you have ever been a part of any show, stage crew or on stage, come. We're gonna have a special little thing after the show for you guys. I love meeting alumni after the shows and hearing stories about their time at Ross. So come on out. And then the next weekend, 28th, 29th, and 30th. Anything you guys want to say before we go?
Goodbye. Huzzah.
I was gonna do that with you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bro.